From power lines falling on buses, trapping a driver inside and a student, to this scene in Estacada where a live power line sparked a fire.
My son said he had to use the flashlight on his iPhone to read in class.
When I was in one of the areas that went pitch black, so it was really scary for a couple of minutes before the emergency lights turned on.
Some kids attending school in the dark before being released early as power outages ripple through Oregon and Washington. Folks all across our area dealing with the aftermath of this week's strong winds as we expect yet another atmospheric river to move into the area today on this KGW Weather Impact Alert Day. Good morning and thank you for joining us here. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. As China just mentioned, it is a weather impact alert day here at KGW. So we have team coverage for you this morning. Corey Johnson live for us on Mount Hood at Governor Camp. Thomas Schultz right there also live for us this morning with details on Wasco County's state of emergency. But before we get to those stories, let's check in with Rod Hill in the Weather Center.
Well, if there's good news here, the good news is that this particular atmospheric river is kind of short-lived. It's just starting to hit, a couple of hours ago, and it will break up overnight tonight. So it's maybe 24 hours long at the most. But remember, atmospheric rivers almost always produce nothing but steady precipitation, meaning no breaks. And today's rain will simply get heavier and heavier as we go through the day. Weather Service has a flood watch up today all the way into Saturday. Now, the weather breaks tonight, but rising river levels will be a concern tomorrow and into Saturday as well. For today, especially this afternoon, after it's been raining for a while, we start to get some ponding of water, heavy rain totals, high water spots on roadways, producing hazards. And again, we're watching the rising river levels. Here's the fetch of moisture that's going to be working into our area in the radar right now. Currently snowing up in the Cascades as low as 3,000 feet, but the snow level later today goes up above timberlines. All that changes to rain this afternoon. Good visibility through the rain as folks cross the interstate bridge from the Vancouver to the Springs at the waterfront. Temperature is generally low to mid 40s out there, 44 in Vancouver right now, 43 at PDX. We'll be 47 at noon, and we will get up into the 50s a little bit later today. And oh yes, there is a wind advisory for the valley. Generally south winds 15 to 30 picking up, but could be a period of some gusty winds to 40 to 45. Here's Chris.
Rod, as you would expect, it is a soggy mess out there on the freeways. So far, the freeways are in relatively good shape, minus the fact that you've got vapor trails and all the water to deal with. Check out that camera right now. That's I-205 near Stark, the northbound commute. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of water out there on the roads for the morning commute. I do have one big trouble spot right now out in Yamhill County right now. 99W is closed because of a crash just north of the Lafayette area. ODOT does have a local detour set up around that. And of course, we're still dealing with the aftermath of yesterday's down power lines and trees. 99W is closed just north of Amity. Highway 221 is closed just south of the Dayton area. And on Chehalem Mountain, Highway 219 closed on the Yamhill, Washington County line, once again because of downed trees. And a section of Highway 213 near Beaver Creek Road and Clackamas Community College. Again, that's still closed because of downed trees. Guys, back to you.
We're going to reiterate that right now, Chris. In Clackamas County, we have pictures showing that section of Highway 213 that remains shut down. Again, as Chris just mentioned, this is south of Oregon City by Clackamas Community College, and it's all because of power lines and trees that fell across the road. We do have an update. A second longer section of 213 near the Fisher's Corner area did reopen earlier this morning. In
Westland, trees and live power lines came down on a school bus yesterday morning, trapping a driver and a student inside. They were both able to get out safely after Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue crews worked with PGE to cut the power.
Another trouble spot in Clackamas County, a live power line sparked this fire in Estacada yesterday. With all the down lines across the area, police and fire officials reminding everyone to not try and put out a power line fire by yourself. In fact, they say don't go anywhere near a down line. You should always assume that a downed line is live. Stay in your house, stay in your car, whatever you need to do. Immediately call 911.
And taking a live look at outage maps now. Yesterday we saw more than 200,000 people across Oregon and southwest Washington without power. This morning it's better, but still a problem. Right now, PGE is reporting more than 23,000 customers without power. Pacific Power also reporting about 1,300 customers in Oregon without power. And in Clark County, Clark Public Utility reporting just over 2,000 customers without power.
We'll stay in Clark County here. Clark Public Utilities continuing to work on power lines that were knocked down and out by fallen trees and tree branches yesterday. At one point, reports had as many as 98,000 customers there without power. Clark Public Utility says it really relies on its customers to report these power outages so that the power company can pinpoint problem spots.
To date, I have not experienced an atmospheric river this large or seen outages to quite this level at one time.
Just to reiterate, all local power companies encourage their customers to report down power lines as soon as you see them. If you do lose power, PGE suggests that you check to see if your neighbor's power is out as well. They also say you can check to see if you've gotten any email or text alerts before you call your utility company. Here's another tip. Check out your circuit breakers. PGE customers can report outages at portlandgeneral.com or call that number on your screen. We have it right there. It's 503-464-7777.
Meantime, in Camas, a storm plagued local businesses there. That includes Grains of Wrath. Part of their outdoor seating area was shredded, forcing them to close until further notice, leaving some customers to adjust their plans.
We were going to eat here, but now we're going to find something else, hopefully. The power is hit and miss throughout the town. Some things are open and right next door, some things are closed.
One of the biggest examples of the damage we saw from yesterday's weather happened in the Dalles, where strong winds tore off a large chunk of the roof at a medical facility.
Now, no one was hurt, but Wasco County commissioners have declared a state of emergency. So Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us now. Thomas, why the state of emergency here?
Yeah, China and Drew, I mean, it's due to downed trees, road closures, along with this medical facility being out of commission right now. It's a place that thousands of people rely on in the gorge where, frankly, there's just not a lot of medical options, right? Water's Edge services about 150 to 175 people each and every day. Though for now it's closed and it's unclear when it'll reopen as leaders look to find an alternative location to see some of those patients after Wednesday morning storm whipped through the building, leaving the roof in shambles and the interior in bad shape too.
We didn't truly understand the total estimate of damage until we actually walked through the building later in the day and realized the severe damage both structurally and to the roof.
Thompson says during the storm there were 3 patients and 1 employee inside the building. Thankfully, everyone was able to evacuate safely before fire crews arrived. Once again, Wasco County officials have declared a state of emergency. That's the commissioners in there in Wasco County, not only because of this hospital, but again because of those roads closed and trees down countywide. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz with the latest there for us in Wasco County. Let's go over to Central Oregon. Mount Bachelor hit with several inches of fresh snow this week. So this is a look at the mountain after the overnight snow that fell Tuesday into yesterday. The ski resort says it's still getting slopes there ready for the start of the ski season, and snowmaking is underway near the Pine Martin lift, but an opening day for Bachelor still hasn't been set yet.
There is some good news at Timberline. 6 inches of snow have fallen since yesterday, though it's still not enough to get the slopes open for this season.
Ideally, of course, Timberline and other ski spots up on Mount Hood would have opened up last month around Thanksgiving, but here we are a week away from Christmas and we're still waiting for that to happen. It's
been a disappointing start to the season, to say the least. That's not only cost skiers excitement, but businesses their profit. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live at Government Camp on Mount Hood with the latest on what we're seeing there. Corey.
Good morning, Drew, China. That's right. We're at the rest area, in particular on Government Camp. And right now, the rest areas are actually closed at this time, which seldom, if ever, happens. It's actually believed that this stretch is, the power is out along this stretch because the Chevron station isn't lit up and neither is the Government Camp sign. Snowfall definitely measurable at this hour. Even signs out there you can see near the road saying chains or traction required if you're going to travel along that stretch. So taking a look at the snow right now, again, it's measurable. The average pen is about 5 inches long, so sticking it in the snow so you can see just how far it goes up. It looks like covering halfway, so about 2 inches currently where we are right now, which is around 3,100 feet of elevation. And so 6 inches, as you mentioned, Drew, in China, expected as far as snowfall is concerned before noon today, which is actually welcome news because this has been a very slow start to the ski season, which typically opens on November 16th. Now, the lack of snow has led to disappointing skiers, of course, but also it's had an impact on business. Timberline Lodge staff members say they're fortunate enough to have the historic hotel and several restaurants on the property, which is how they're sustaining their business at the moment. Again, as far as snowfall this morning is concerned, it's going to be about 6 inches what we are expecting, but that's going to turn into rain as we get into the later part of the afternoon. And if you are traveling on Highway 26, making your way eastbound to get to Government Camp today, make sure to take it easy. As we were making our way up here, we did see a few stalled vehicles. We also saw areas that were a little bit lower in elevation where the rain was steady, but there were also some down power lines. So it's still a tricky situation out on the roadways. You want to travel and be prepared accordingly. Back to you.
A partially snow-covered Corey Johnson reporting live for us this morning there by Government Camp. Thank you, Corey.
No, I missed it. Why does she have one glove on and one glove off? What was she doing?
Because, well, sir, you're not in the field that often, but when you do have a script on your phone, you have to scroll to read the script, and it won't get captured through the glove.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sometimes you can get those fancy gloves, right, with that thumb deal that allows you to scroll.
Those are hit or miss, and I have been burned in the field with those.
All right. Hey, and to get serious for a second, think about this, and you'll be able to picture this with me. Snowing up there right now. Corey said they have 2 inches on the ground, could easily double that. And then it's going to start raining, and the transition could be quickly. That's going to turn into such a slushy mess up there. That alone will produce quite the travel hazard as we get rolling into the afternoon hours. And winds are expected to hit the Cascades today as well. So if it's a trip you don't have to take, probably best not to do so. And that reminds me to tell you, if you're planning on driving into Newport today, there's a high wind warning down in Lincoln County. We have lost people's lives in these high wind events over the Coast Range when the big fir trees come down and the timing is perfect and they drop on people's cars. So it's not a great day to be traveling any distance if you don't have to. You can see the atmospheric river stretch feeding into the area. Here's the solid rain in green and yellow and the snow over the Cascades. It will turn into rain this afternoon for the high country. Good visibility through the rain coming out of Vancouver. The Springs at the Waterfront camera. 44 is the temperature this morning there. We're generally low to mid 40s. 42 in Beaverton. Good morning to you. There's Salem 43 and Albany is at 43 degrees. Real quick break from the storm coverage to talk about Lucy. Beautiful shot in the Christmas tree there, it looks like, or at least some evergreen greenery with the lights. Pet of the day at KGW.com's email address. Send in your pet's photo and they will become our pet of the day. Okay. This is the day where the rain will never stop and it will get heavier and heavier. We expect rising river levels. We expect some of our rivers to go over flood stage tomorrow. We expect ponding of water on area roadways to develop this afternoon into this evening. We have temperatures in the 50s later today, also in Central Oregon, 40s out east. In fact, Baker City, you have snow showers in your forecast. Here's a 7-day forecast. 50s, but not until later today. The weather impact alert up. Tomorrow's a scattered showers, but we could still be dealing with high water spots and rising river levels. Saturday, mainly dry. Rain picks up on Sunday. That's your forecast.